Hi everyone, welcome to today's video. So in this video, we are going to explore one of the most recent features of Excel, and that is Excel's capability to pick up currency information, okay, stock currency exchange information, okay, from the internet. Okay, so just to give you an idea, what we're planning to do here is to answer this table wherein we have this item sold and they are bought in Philippine peso, and we want to find out how much the price of those items if we are going to use dollars, okay, for the rate. So to introduce this new function of Excel, okay, we're going to show you first, okay, isolate it. So the first step that you have to do is you need to enter a text, okay, data we're in. Let's say I want to find out how much one US dollar is to Philippine peso. So if I enter this, you have to type it as USD slash and then PHP. So meaning I want to find out how much one US dollar is to Philippine peso. So it's always one on the left side and then how much is it going to be if we're going to convert it to the currency on the right side, in this case Philippine peso. So once you've typed this pair, we then go to the data tab. So under the data tab, you should find there somewhere in the middle data types. And under data types, you should see there you have the currencies. And this is what we want to use. Take note that this feature is only available in MS365. If you do not have this feature, it means you do not have this activated or you do not have MS365 version. So now I'm going to click currencies, and you should see that we're getting here a symbol, which means that it understood that pair. And you could see that from here, you could click on the plus sign and look for information about this certain currency pair. So let's say that what I want is the previous close amount, which is going to be 57.76. So you can use this drop down to get other informations. Let's say I want to get the 52-week high of that currency pair, and you will get the answer, okay, in another cell. Now you do not have to really click this all the time. You simply have to, okay, go, let's say, equal sign, and then let's say I'm going to click that cell and then click dot. And from here, you can also pick up the information that you want from that currency pair. So let's say I want to get the last close and then tab, okay, and then enter. So instead of doing the click here and choose, you can actually also just use a formula. See the cell where the currency pair is, dot and then previous close. However, you cannot do this, okay, if your currency pair has not been interpreted yet as currency. So for example, if I say this C7 dot and then I say previous close, just like what we did, so you will just get an error because we're not yet, okay, converted this into currency pair. So we can try to do that now. So currencies, and you could see that the formula managed to sort of like answer that question. Now, take note that these values, as you could see, there's a disclaimer from Microsoft over here on top that the financial market information is provided as is and should not be used for professional or trading purposes or advice. So if you click on that, you will see the help details for this about what website is providing this to them, and you will see that this is being provided to us by Refinitiv, okay, website, which if you want you can always click here. And if you want to read more about the service agreement of Refinitiv and Microsoft, you can always go here so that you can explore the feature. You can also see other currencies that are recognized by this tool, okay, over here. Now, how do we use this, okay, in the formula? So you can easily use this as sort of like an inquiry tool. But what if we want to use it in the formula itself? So, of course, here, let's go back to this worksheet. And we have here, we want to convert the Philippine peso to the dollars. So, of course, if you want to do something like that, you need to have a cell. So, let's say from Philippine peso to USD, and then get your data tab, and then from the data tab convert that cell into a currency pair cell, and Excel will then recognize that, and from there you will simply get the value, okay, the one on the left, okay, the Philippine peso in my case, and multiply it to the currency pair, okay, based on its previous close. Okay, and then enter. So you should see that the answer to this is 605.85 US dollars. If you are planning to double click, okay, of course you have to make sure that this cell is absolute. So you simply have to press F4 on your keyboard. Okay, so I'll just have to type because my keyboard has something weird going on. So I'll just have to type $C, $8, and then dot previous close, enter, and that should work when you drag your formula, okay, all the way to the other cells. Now, what if we want to get the solution, okay, without having the need for an extra cell like this? Because right now our formula relies on the existence of C8 being converted to a currency pair and use that cell in order to get the previous close amount. Like, what if I don't want to do that? So we're going to explore another function of Excel. However, if you're happy with the solution, then that's it. Okay, you can already use this, and if you're not interested in other solutions anymore, then thank you for watching this video. However, if you want to learn more about more features of Excel and you want to solve this the way that I want it without using a currency pair cell, then please stay on and watch, okay, the remaining part of this video. So the next feature that we're going to discuss is the stock history function of Excel, also available in MS365. So this is more of like an application of the stock feature of Excel. And how we use it is that we have to use the function stock history, and then we're going to type the currency pair. So let's say I'm going to say $1 to, let's say, Japanese yen, and then, comma, we need another required argument, and that is the start date. So for the start date, you have to enter a certain date. Just do not enter the date today because it doesn't get you the data from the date today. Even if the stock market or the foreign exchange already closed today, it won't really give you that value. So you will just get an error. Okay, the latest that you can get is today minus one, which means yesterday, and then enter, and you'll get an answer. And I hope you realize that we're getting a table, an array for an answer here. We're not getting just one value, we're getting four cells. It's like it's trying to create a table wherein we have the date that we entered, which is today. Okay, minus one. If you notice, my calendar here is May 2nd. And it closed at 154.47 for the US dollar to Japanese yen conversion. So it will always give you four cells, at least at the very minimum. If you want, you can even create a history. Okay, let's say not just today, but I want to find out as well from a certain date. So let's say that the date is what's May 2nd, and last Monday would have been April 29th. So how do you enter a specific date like that? So let's say from April 21st, that means I have to use the date function. So date, open parentheses, and then I'm going to enter the year, then the month, which is April, and then Monday is 29th. So, comma, this is our start date. And the end date is going to be today, but remember, we cannot use today, so we have to use minus one. So, date, okay, April 29, 2024, until today, minus one, or yesterday, and you will get an answer wherein you have the week so far. So you have more cells. Okay. So I just wanted to show you that it will actually generate to you an entire table. Okay. If you want. So let's say I want to get it from the start of the year. Then I just have to say here 1 1. Okay. From 1 1 until the date today. Okay. And then enter. And you will get the conversion from January 1st onwards. Okay. FYI, there are dates that are considered non-trading days, or usually these are the weekends. You will notice that Excel will skip that. So here we have January 5th, and then it skipped to January 8th because January 6th and 7th are Saturdays and Sundays, wherein there are no trading during that day. Now, if, for example, you only have one date and you decided to go for a non-trading day, what will happen? So we know that January 6th is not a trading day. So let's choose that one. So day is January 6, 2024. And we hit enter and you're going to get an error. So anytime that you're trying to just produce, okay, just a non-trading day, you will get an error. So this is how, okay, you use the the stock history function in order to derive a certain value, a last close date, for example, from a certain date. However, just have a slight issue here because, as you could see, we have four cells, and we really cannot say like, I have a value here 7, and I want to multiply. Okay, let me just get the formula here because this will give me the 144.22, right? So I'm going to say equals, and then this value times the formula that we have, and you will actually get this weird looking answer, and that is because you're trying to multiply 7 to each of these four cells. So you're getting a hashtag value because you cannot multiply numbers with the text. So you're getting two hashtag values for the headers. And this number over here, 317,093, is 7 times January 8, 2024. So the only correct one is this one, 1009.54. Okay, so let's say that I want to just extract this. I just want to extract the 144.22. So what you're going to do is explore the remaining arguments of the stock history function. So for that, let me just erase this. Okay, we're going to see that there are other options available. So instead of closing it at that point, so now I have the start date, comma, and then I'm not interested in an end date because I only want this date, January 8th, for example, comma. It's asking us for an interval. So for the interval, we'll leave it as daily. So we're going to hit comma. So we're sort of like not giving Excel any answer to those questions. And in this one, you will notice it's asking if you want a header or not. Okay, so by default, as you could remember, we're getting headers. So in this case, we do not want headers. So we're going to go with 0, and then comma again, and you still have another value that you have to input, and this is it. This is where you can choose what value you want from this currency pair. So what we want is the last close, and that would be the value of number 1. So close, at this point we already have the property that we need, the close value, and then hit enter, and now we manage to just get just okay the answer to the question, what is the conversion from USD to Japanese yen last January 8, 2024. So we only have one cell now, and that's how we are going to solve it. Okay, in our previous worksheet here, remember, we need or we want to derive this answer without having the need for a cell that contains a currency pair. So for this, we just have to say equals and then get B2 times, and then we're going to say stock history, and then we're going to get the starting currency going to the converting currency, comma, and then the start date is, as you can see here, the last close is today, and then open close parenthesis. But remember, we cannot use today. We have to deduct 1 because that is the last close date that Microsoft can provide us. And then you will notice that after I hit comma, it's now asking for the end date, okay, the one in bold. We don't need an end date, so we will just skip that. We want to skip this one as well. We want no headers, so we'll type 0. And finally, we are being asked for what property we want, okay, from that currency pair. So we want the close. So we have to type the number 1 to represent the close value. And then close parentheses, and then hit enter. And we're now getting the same answer as what we did here, okay, the one that relied on the existence of this cell. And there you have it. We now managed to convert, okay, one currency to the other. And take note that this value, since this is today, and your Excel will connect again tomorrow to the internet to get the previous value, okay? And if it doesn't, you simply have to go to data and click refresh all so that all, okay, data that it gets from the internet or link somewhere are all updated. And that is our video for today. I know it's quite long, But I hope you realize we explored several tools of Excel that pertains to currencies, okay, and the stock history function. If you have any questions, feel free to use the comment section. And if ever this video helped you, we would appreciate a like and subscribe in the channel. It really helps us keep going. And if ever you have any questions, feel free to use the comment and we will try to do our best to answer as soon as we can, or maybe even create content or video for you. For now, this is it, and I'll see you in the next video.